What's been the benefit for you of a full week off after, or a full week's training after a win?
Benefit is we've been able to work hard again on the training ground. We've got a couple of good days into the boys that played, and it also allowed us to have a game on Tuesday for the boys who hadn't featured too much in the first 3 games, and we had a real worthwhile exercise against Bristol City on Tuesday afternoon.
You got it down and passed it against Crewe.
Yeah.
How difficult is it going to be to do that against Rotherham at their ground?
I'd say on Saturday, that's going to be our aim. You know, we also realise that we're in the business to try and win games, and it's not going to be pretty all the time. But you know, Rotherham have got some good players. They like to get the ball down at times. They like to, you know, use their big throws and their big diags at other times. It's something you got to deal with. We'll continue to try and play. We've also got to realise when we have to stick it and defend properly.
They've had a decent start, pretty much the same as yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it'll be a decent game. Apparently the pitch is in good condition. It's a strange atmosphere up there, but it's something we've got to go up there and deal with.
You mentioned the strange atmosphere. Presumably that's because you've got an athletics track around the stadium.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you know, they were right up there last season when we went up there, but it was still a strange atmosphere in terms of, you know, being so far away from the supporters. But you know, like I said, it's not an issue. The facilities are really decent up there. The pitch will be, well, we've told the pitch is in good nick compared to what it was in last year when we were up there. So we're looking forward to Saturday.
And looking at your team, competition for places up front. How's Sean Jeffers been in training this week after being left out after scoring midweek?
He weren't left out. You know, we put Wes back in. You know, Sean knows the situation. These two at the moment are playing well, and it, you know, Sean played 90 minutes, well 85 minutes against Bristol City, against, you know, two experienced centre halves, and he was excellent for us. They've been brought in to add competition for places, both him and Shrewsbury, and they'll continue to do that. And it's important that we get games into the boys who aren't playing to make sure that when they're called upon, they're ready. And you know, Tuesday was a real worthwhile exercise, and we'll have another one next week. We'll try and get as many games as we can to make sure that, I say, everyone's up to speed and we're not afraid to use anyone.
Must be a nice problem for you though. 3 games in and you've got 3 strikers who've scored goals for the club.
Yeah, of course it is. You want everybody, you want your strikers to score, of course you do, but you want goals throughout the team. And although our strikers have been scoring them, I think there's certainly goals from midfield and from defenders at set pieces. So, you know, it's important that we continue to score goals, and it's important we go up to Rotherham and get something out of the game.
Injuries and illness. How are Martin, Riley and Theo?
Mine's not going to be available. That's not a problem. Theo's back in training. He trained on Monday, Tuesday. No, sorry, he was cleared on Monday. He trained on Tuesday, and he's back in today, and he's got the all clear. That's great news for us, great news for the club, and great news for Theo himself. You know, it could have been nasty. Hopefully, it was just a mild form, and we'll see him back in a strip as quickly as we can.
Or do you have to take it a little bit easy with him?
We're under the doctor's orders to sort of look after him, but apparently he's been given the all clear, and you know, we thought contact was going to be a problem for a couple of weeks, but apparently not. They're all happy with what they've seen, the results that they've had, and like I say, he's back in full training.
Any other worries? No,
not that I know of. Like I say, we had a good. It's you know, when you have a free week as well, no midweek game, it's time for, you can nurse 1 or 2 little knocks. But touch wood, we haven't had that. We've been able to get them all on the training ground. I had the boys who played for the sort of 3 games, the bulk of them on Tuesday with the youth boys, and we did some good work. And again today, you know, we're just an extension of preparing for Saturday.
One very random one from me. The new ruling on penalties this year, simulation, is banned for players taking penalties. Just how aware are players generally of rules and new rules at the start of a season?
They're not. I've seen the DVD, and listen, we don't expect people to be shimmying, and the rule is you can now feint on your run up, but you can't feint when you get there. Well, if you try and feint when you get there, you look ridiculous at times. So listen, the boys that we take it, they know the rules roughly. I don't expect anybody to be feinting and putting the foot over the ball a couple of times and then sticking it in the other. You know, we're not about that. doesn't concern me.
Common sense will prevail.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark.
Marcus, so you're going to have to make a change at the back, and I mean, how pleased were you with Keith Lowe moving into the middle and David Burton on at right back last week?
When we, like I said to you, when we signed the players, all these new players at the start of the season, I told you a few players could play in a few positions, and that's vital when you've got a small squad, a young squad. It's important people can play in a number of positions on the park, and Birdie slotted in perfectly. Keith Lowe, I thought, was excellent at the middle of the defence. I've got an option, you know, they've got Big Ellison wide left, who's a real handful in the air. He's a handful running at people, and he gets his shots away. And Andy Gallagher did exceptionally well on last season in April when we played up there. I thought Gallagher did a great job on a real tough opponent. So you know, that's probably one of the two options I've got, one of the two decisions I've got to make, or whether to put Gallagher in the middle of the defence. But I don't see that happening. I think it'll be just a straight fight between Birdie and Gallagher, and then I've probably got another one decision to make. But you know, I'm pleased with the way they've played. I'm pleased with the application and the performance on Tuesday against Bristol City. You know, you were there, and they carried on exactly what the first three performances of the season were. And you know, there was nobody sulking. A game's a game, and you want to do your best. And I thought our lads showed tremendous application and tremendous endeavour to play the right way, and we played some really good stuff against a decent Bristol City team.
Will you be telling them more of the same before Saturday's game?
We might tinker. I don't think I'm going to go with a diamond. I think I'm going to change my shape a little bit. Like I say, these have got good wide players and fullbacks who like to get on, throw the ball in your box as well. I might tinker with that, but you know, like I say, I've got one or two decisions to make, and that's great for me. There was some pleasing performances Tuesday, as there have been in the first three first-team games this season.
And Gillingham and Rotherham away, they're probably two of the toughest trips of the season to get out of the way early on, but nice to probably go up there at this time of year, isn't it? Yeah,
you know, the pitch was poor last season. You know, they apologised for the state of the pitch before the game to me. That's something you have to deal with, you know, at our level of football. It's not a problem. Like I said, we've been told that by people who've been up there that the pitches are decent. You know, they're expected to be up there. They're a big, strong team who can play. They've got good players. Tough game, but Gillingham was tough. Brentford was tough, and Crewe was tough. You know, all in their own different ways. There's not an easy game in this league. There's not an easy game in any league, and we've just got to make sure that we don't get carried away with anything. Yes, we played some decent stuff. Yes, we won the game, and we've made a pleasing start. But that 2 games of the season, we haven't done anything, and I'll be after the players to maintain their standards.
Cheers, Mark.
Pleasure.
Cheers, Mark.